Welcome to the A.N.I.M.E podcast.
Hello! Now, you like Demon Slayer, right?
I do like Demon Slayer. Eddie, do you like Demon Slayer?
I don't.
Well, no one likes
wow.
you.
Either that or he has been officially kicked out of the anime community, I think.
Was there anyone who didn't
You-
like Demon Slayer?
I haven't seen Demon Slayer. Am I also kicked out of the anime community? Probably.
I mean, to be fair, I only saw Demon Slayer this year. Fun story, I did see a part of one of the episodes last year when it was airing on Toonami, but then it took me until literally a year later to actually watch the show. But yeah, Toonami was showing the show for a second time, and so I watched it from beginning to end, right in time for the movie to get a release in the US, which big deal of a movie, right? It's the highest grossing film of 2020. Woo!
Yay!
Anime has finally taken over the box office. And
Was-
finally, Sony has had a highest grossing film of the year.
Wasn't that the first movie you saw, Eddie, in theaters during the Return to Humanity?
Yeah.
What do you think
The
of it?
Ascension from the Underworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was really good. It was made even better by the fact that I watched it with a bunch of people who literally just finished the anime. So there was a moment where I was sitting next to a person, and they saw. Well, this is obviously going to get to spoilers now, right? Should we mark that, or should we just avoid spoilers?
I'd say avoid them for now, and then we'll do them at the end.
Okay, well, I watched it with a bunch of people who had just finished the anime, so it was a very fresh experience for a lot of them. Also, I don't think they were all used to subs either, so a lot of them were like making comments about like whether or not they liked or really enjoyed certain voice actors for characters that they had already seen in the anime. A lot of people, I think, really like Tanjiro's voice actor in the sub.
Well, since I watched the show on Toonami, surprise, surprise, I watched the show dubbed, but I did watch the movie subbed. And like you, Eddie, I saw the movie with someone, and that was my mom. And my mom had seen parts of the show. She had seen parts of the show, but not the whole thing. And when she found out that I was watching it subbed and I was making her sit down and watch it, she was very not excited for it. But then she turned to me while we were watching the movie and was like, "This is really good." So, mom approved.
Yay.
You
what
hear
I'm
that,
saying.
everybody? Take your mom to see Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Train movie. Demon Train.
But
Ghost
don't
Yeah.
Train. Ghost Demon Train.
but don't blame us if she disowns you for watching anime. That's not our fault.
I feel like there's a lot less anime isms during this part of the show. You know what I mean?
I don't, because I haven't seen it.
You're right.
Explain.
No.
I mean, I will say that I felt like they had some common story beats in the movie. Specifically, when we got to the final climax, I knew what was going to happen because I've seen enough anime to know what was going to happen. But my mom, who hasn't seen as much, was surprised by how things turned out. And that was one of those things where I had kind of a mixed feeling about because it's so interesting to have consumed so much media that you can just kind of like figure out how something will end. If we do a spoiler section, I will go into more detail about what I'm specifically talking about, but I think that even though some of the plot beats were what you might expect, I think Demon Slayer just in general, it doesn't try to be like some sort of like super new style shonen. It relishes in its shonenness and just has fun with it, I think.
I would agree with to a very large extent. Like I think overall this series has a very fine understanding of what the genre usually is. And not that it like attempts to subvert those expectations. I think it performs understanding where it can push things and where it can't. But it does it really well. Like I'd say if anything it pushes the boundaries of general shonen. And I really do hope that a lot more series take those notes and expand on that because I really did like a lot of things about this series.
Eddie, do you want to give a summary of what Demon Slayer is? I'm realizing that we've just talked for a couple of minutes and actually haven't
Yeah, for like
explained
the
it.
1% that includes me who hasn't seen it already.
I don't think
Yeah,
our
actually,
friend.
Whimsy, you should be the one asking this.
Yeah, you should be
What
All
are we
asking.
right,
talking
what
about
the
here?
heck is Demon Slayer?
Oh, well, you see, it's a show about this demon who slays in
Wow,
a
what a
slave
great
race, and
synopsis.
then
You managed to get the summary wrong somehow, Eddie.
well, it's called Demon Slayer because it's a sled race and there's a demon.
Is it a demon, comma, slayer, like the demon's a slayer, or is it somebody who slays demons? See, that could mean either.
A demon sleigh? It's like Santa Claus is on a demon sleigh.
So, now, what is Demon Slayer?
Yeah, so I'll just give the general premise, I guess. So, our protagonist is Tanjiro, who is just like a nice big bro who, takes care of his family and has a really strong sense of smell. But besides that, and being just super nice, there's nothing like particularly unusual about him. One day he goes out and he's going to end up coming back late to his home. So someone takes him to their place and says, you shouldn't be traveling. It's too late. There's demons out there. You just should not stay away. And so he's thinking, okay, this guy's cray cray, but okay, I'll stay here. And then lo and behold, the next day he finds out that this guy wasn't cray cray because his whole family is dead and murdered by demons except for one person. One of his sisters did survive. However, it's less that she survived but was left alive and was turned into a demon. This is the only family that he has left, so he wants to find a way to protect her. So he ends up running into someone that's a demon slayer whose job is basically to hunt these demons, and he basically gives a reference to Tanjiro so that he can go train with someone so that he can become a demon slayer and he can then pursue his goal of trying to find a way to cure his sister. And so basically the story from there is him going to fight a bunch of demons and specifically trying to target the demon that killed his family and turned his sister, trying to find him, trying to defeat him. And I think that basically summarizes it. Anything you would like to add, Eddie?
No, I think that sums that up pretty well in terms of like the original story beat that they introduce a lot of the characters on, a lot of the setting.
I'm really confused. Where does Santa fit into all this?
Well, it's
It
Christmas when this happens.
yes, yes, it's very snowy out. Oh god, I'm gonna try to say the villain's name. Musen Kibutsuji? Mutsun Kubitsu.
Yeah, I think you just go with Mutsen. Or as a lot of
Mutsun.
people know him, Evil Michael Jackson.
Is he
Evil
like
Michael
the.
Jackson. Perfect.
Yeah, Vampire Michael Jackson.
So is he Krampus in this setting?
Exactly, he
Exactly.
is.
His naughty children caused him to slay an entire family of people on a mountainside.
To Demon Slay.
Yeah.
Well, he rides on a demon sleigh.
And I guess like if we're gonna go with like kind of like the holiday kind of
We don't have to.
analogy.
This is a terrible joke. You
Yeah,
can drop
I was just trying to follow Eddie's joke before, but oh god. What have we done?
Okay, maybe I should stop now. And audience, you'll never know where I was going with this. So please hit that
Mystery.
dislike button.
No, don't say that.
Yeah,
hit that
slap
like
that
button.
dislike button.
Hey.
No, you always hear people saying slap that like button. I want you to slap that dislike button. If you think we shouldn't do that joke again. Ever.
All right. Well, Michael Jackson is the villain. It explains everything, like why he was such an amazing dancer. He's a couple hundred years old. Wait, a couple hundred, or is he supposed to be in the thousands already? How old is
a
he?
couple hundred. Because
Oh,
I believe it's only like 2 generations separated.
I'm on the wiki. He's supposed to be 1,000.
Oh, okay, so 1,000.
About.
Never mind.
So, okay. Yeah, so Michael Jackson is over 1,000 years old.
So by then he would probably be at least 2,000, if not like several thousands years old.
how long do you how long do you think it's been since like when does the show take place? Doesn't the show take place like 19 oh, fudge. What is it? End of 1800s or beginning of 1900s? Something like that. So it hasn't been 1,000 years. It's been like 100 years since the show would have taken place.
But I'm saying from when Mutsen would have been originated, created, started, birthed, it would be about 2,000?
No. No. The math
Because if
doesn't.
he's already
Okay.
1,000 years old. Wait, why? Well,
He's a
okay, wait.
thousand years old. Plus 100 is 1,100.
I'm saying in the modern day.
Welcome to our math
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
Exactly. If he's 1,000 years old at the beginning, man. I'm
X
trying to
equals the opposite
actually
of b
find
plus or
exactly.
minus the square root of
Math.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we worried about this? It's evil. It's evil.
So
Michael
wait, the show
Vampire Jackson.
does the show take place during the Meiji or the Taisho? Do you know?
I don't know if they said. I'm assured that that's because it happens kind of like in an alternative universe. So.
Ah, but they have little touches that show like the time period. Oh man. Oh,
I don't
can
know
I
if they
nerd
say any
out for a
explicit
second?
dates.
Wait, we're in an anime podcast. I guess we are already nerding out, aren't we?
We are already nerding
Um,
out a bit.
Okay. So, all right. So there's they go to Edo or Tokyo during the show, and this is like early 1900s or end of 1800s. I'm so sorry that I'm like blanking on exactly the date. You can see like different buildings in the background, and most likely most of them are just like, whatever. They're not really real places per se. There was one building that I recognized because I'm a nerd and I just find this building absolutely fascinating. There's this building that I believe it was called Ryukaku, which is kind of looked like a lighthouse kind of style building, and it was destroyed during the Kanto earthquake. And you can see that building in the show. And I kind of like had a nerd moment seeing that building. There's a replica of it in one of the museums in Japan, so that's how I'm familiar with it. So it was kind of cool seeing it in a show. No, I'm not an. Yeah, I am a nerd. Sorry, I can't deny it.
I was gonna say I don't think you can deny it at that point.
But you know
I
what?
get excited
Power
to
to the
see
nerds.
buildings.
No power to the nerds.
What? But you're
Yeah.
a nerd, so you're powerless
Yeah,
and
aren't
sad.
you? Aren't you?
Aren't we all?
Yeah. I will also sure. We'll include a picture of this building or something in the description so that y'all can see what I'm even talking about.
See
yeah,
with your eyes.
Yeah. Okay, so this doesn't completely answer the question, but considering the fact this building only stood from 1890 to 1923, that means that the show has to take place during that time period. So, there we go. Yay.
Yay.
This is the conclusion.
This is the end of the program.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
No, but that is really interesting, though. I'm looking forward to seeing it, the picture.
This was not a Demon Slayer episode. This was just a Ryukaku appreciation episode.
As it should be.
That's really cool that they added that in, though.
Yeah. Just in general, the visuals to Demon Slayer are really striking. I haven't actually watched the show, but every time I see like a clip from it or just a few frames, I'm just struck by how sort of visually distinct it is. And I'm curious as to whether or not either of you could speak to that element, because it's definitely something that stands out.
Well, the water technique definitely is like absolutely gorgeous. I love how they do that. The fire as well. I think like people generally love how the animation looks and captures like some like vibes of the time period that it's in a bit more than a lot of other animes I've seen. And I think like the quality of just like the drawings and thought that went behind it are part of it. Eddie, please jump in before I keep talking about Ryukaku or something.
I don't know if the people would complain about that. In general, though, yeah, I would agree that like the show overall, I would say the manga too. I would say the manga visually understands the kind of idea that it wants to create with the swordsmanship in the in the series. And I feel like what's been really striking overall is that they went above and beyond that with the anime. Because in the anime, they just spent so much time. You could see the love and appreciation they gave that facet of the series. And each time that the characters are fighting or practicing their swordsmanship on screen, you feel an impact with it. Not in terms of like there's a big boom and an attack, but in terms of like watching them move in the series is like very visually striking, very visually engaging. And there's been a lot of times where it's like they brought up a new, this is like an excitement to like, oh, this person doesn't use the same technique. I wonder what it looks like in practice, and then you do, and it's just such a different experience overall.
Yeah, and the show already had beautiful looks to it. And then you go to the movie and it's even better. I mean, that's not surprising, but it feels like the people that work on the show consistently bring their A game, and they were given a bigger budget for the movie, and they're like, yes, yes, our A game is gonna become S tier now.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say that they specifically asked for a movie budget just so they could give a lot of love to Rengoku's style of swordsmanship, but it kind of worked out that way.
The fact that the water attacks in the show look so impressive, it really is spectacular to me because like things like water and fire are just straight up hard to like animate and like make look good. I recall, and admittedly this is a different style, but I think it was like 2012. I want to say some of you might have heard of this anime called Free, which is a swimming anime that is often seen as like the starting point for the sports animes with a very female oriented nature to them. But before Free came out, there was actually a commercial or at least it was like a promo or some sort of like test animation basically where the animation company that eventually made Free was just showing how it could animate water, and it just looks so beautiful. But and everyone was kind of like in the comments just talking about how cool it looked, but it kind of just expressed how difficult water is to capture, that people were just freaking out that someone was throwing a bottle of water's contents onto the screen, and that was a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like that was on purpose too. We can definitely say thank you to the series Free for allowing the field in itself to develop a way in which water can be such a striking asset in animation.
It's all connected, folks.
It's all connected. It's all
It
definitely
is.
connected. I'm not saying it's the same studio because I don't even know. I would have to check that.
I don't think it is. Demon Slayer was done by Ufotable, I believe, which I think Ufotable's their first work, or at least their first major work, I think, was ReZero, which is also gorgeous. I think they're just generally known for doing really amazing animation, but not Free. Yeah, go check out ReZero. It's still like I think it still looks pretty amazing. Like I feel like I've looked at clips not that long ago and it still looked really nice.
How about you, honey? You recently started watching ReZero.
I did recently started watching
Oh,
ReZero.
sorry,
Oh,
Fate Zero. Fate Zero.
oh, Fate Zero.
Yeah.
I was a little bit confuzzled. That makes more sense now.
See, I was trying to remember the studio that did RE0, and I don't remember that specifically.
All right, well, I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna pivot then.
You've seen
Eddie,
some
you
clips of Fate
love
Zero.
Fate.
Yeah,
you
I do.
talk now.
I don't love Fate. I am
You're obsessed.
a handcuff to it,
Yeah,
like an unwilling participant in a death game.
and you share your love with everyone of Fate.
No, actually, that's just what happens at the end of the month. Is they ask me how many people I've gotten to watch Fate,
Oh, so it's a cult.
It's not a cult.
Are you
It's
sure?
a pyramid scheme.
Oh, it's a
Oh.
pyramid
It's
scheme.
worse.
Okay.
Wait, what did you
Well,
say, Eddie?
I said the same thing.
it must really
Oh.
be. Okay. So
Actually, speaking of Fate news, here we go. Segment. Ba-da-da-da-don. Fate news here, coming in hot. Hi, the new arc of the story for the season 2 of Fate Grand Order mobile is out now. Please go and enjoy it. I hear this arc is going to be very good. We're going to see a lot of characters that are favorites of the series, which don't appear in the anime, at least not currently, which include Karna, Nezha, and Razma. Go play Fate Grand Order today. Maybe a sponsor? Please.
no.
Sponsor.
Haven't you made a point in the past to say not to play Fate Grand Order?
I might get paid.
It's an addiction.
It's changed.
We've warned people that it is a terrible, debilitating addiction, and
No, I'm
that
saying
they should
gacha's a
stay
terrible,
far,
debilitating
far
addiction.
away. Don't listen to this madman. All right.
Gacha is a terrible, debilitating addiction.
I had to pry his hands away from the mouse so we could do
And
this
if there's
podcast because
any
he just wanted to
time-
do his gacha. He's like, please, just one more roll, please.
What? No.
I had to pry
It's a
his
system.
hand away.
You never have to do that. And actually, you know what's even more funny about that? You thought you won. But I'm playing gacha right now!
I know, on the tablet.
Oh my
Shh,
god.
you can't tell the audience that.
What?
No, he is fully focused.
Actually, I just showed like a piece of like a bottle I was holding in my hand. I was actually
I know. So,
So
once
is he
again,
actually playing? Who knows?
who knows? You'll never know.
You'll never
audience.
Unless we have a video podcast, which will
Yeah.
never happen for that exact
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, I actually don't know because I'm not there. So I have to rely on trusting my fellow co-host that he is not getting stuck in his addiction too much.
I would never do that.
Do we need to stage another intervention? We just did this.
Intervention what?
All right, so this is the Demon Slayer episode, isn't it?
This is the Demon Slayer episode. Hello, everyone. Go watch
Hello.
Demon Slayer. It's very good.
Yeah. And I will say, the anime, is still ongoing, but the manga is done. So if you're a manga reader, you could just splurge through it at this point, which is, kind of nice. I will say, I did say that it's a very, has a lot of, standard shonen beats, but I'll say that the stakes get raised a lot faster than most shonen, I think. If that makes sense. Like, the villains become a lot stronger. It doesn't feel like they have, filler or whatever. They're building up really fast throughout.
I would agree with that. And I would say overall, this series has a very great idea about how progression actually looks for shonen characters and villains. And it sticks to that. It's really nice to see.
Yeah. I will
My-
say that I do hate one of the characters very much, though.
Is it Eddie?
I'm not a character in the series.
Okay, just checking.
Eddie, do you know which character I'm talking about?
Is it the punk from the beginning?
The punk?
Yeah, the punk guy. The brother of the Win Hashira.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's blonde dude. What is his name? Shoot.
Remember his name?
You don't remember his name?
name?
He's one of the main characters.
No, I'm saying for you to remember his name.
Okay. Oh, so you're just telling me that you're not going to help me.
I'm
That's
testing you.
fair.
Remember his name. It is not Nezuko.
Zenitsu.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He is annoying. All the other characters are great. He's annoying.
I'll have to say that voice actor for Zenitsu is really good at being annoying and in both sides. Like, I would have to say both voice actors for the dub and sub Zenitsu just have this great idea about what the character's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, he's still annoying though.
Yeah. No, I wasn't disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I could deal without him. That's one criticism I have. I feel like I should just give my like general criticism. I also don't like some of the stuff they do with Tanjiro's sister throughout the show. I do think that they don't utilize her as well. Nezuko, sorry. I should just say her name. Nezuko. They don't utilize her as well as like she really could be because she's supposed to be pretty OP, but she never is allowed to really be that per se. And then they take away some of her free will, like throughout the show. That kind of frustrates me. Eddie, thoughts?
Eddie thoughts.
Spaghetti thoughts.
What happened to Eddie?
He's just staring at me. It's really unsettling.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just curious if you get the same vibe when it comes to Nezuko that, she's underutilized and kind of is not like she's not respected in many ways as her own character
Is
as much as
Nezuko the
she could
girl
be.
with the bit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
So you know which character it is.
Yeah.
Do you kind of get that vibe? Actually, I'm curious. Do you kind of get that vibe from that character?
I mean, I've not
Visually,
seen
or
I've not
from
seen
tidbits you've seen?
a lot to suggest that she would be underutilized. However, I
Mhm.
guess if you ask me like if I'm surprised that there's a character in an anime that is on all the promotional materials but isn't actually that interesting, I would say no. I'm not surprised because it does sometimes happen. But again,
Yeah.
I have no basis though of judging Nezuko specifically or Demon Slayer.
Mm.
So no, I don't know how to respond to that. But you, however, have seen it, so answer a question.
Eddie thoughts.
Oh my god.
My Eddie thoughts are that I kind of agree with that perception. I feel like the author uses Nezuko as a guiding tool for certain scenarios, and I feel like she could have been utilized more than that, or they could have focused more on the fact that she's not able to be utilized. Because as far as I know, I believe she is a secret among the Hashira and the head of the Demon Slayers. When she is utilized, that it's a bigger deal. And I would say in most cases when she is, and the author cares to add her in, it works out. I would have to say, better than if she had just not participated. But overall, that is the perception I would have.
Well, for me, like, I guess to give a couple of examples, without being spoilery, like, there's that spell or whatever on her that's established. They establish her as being a different demon and that she has more free will than other people or other demons, I should say. But then they still put a spell on her that seems to imply like they don't trust her to be able to make her own decisions or at least like to keep to like the right decisions, which I feel like undermined a lot of her like that kind of like push and pull in terms of like her being a demon and what demons usually do to humans. And then going to like the movie felt like she didn't really do a huge amount there and what she did was like ended up getting saved, I think at least once by someone and then also I think like the biggest thing that she provided was tears that help helped things out. Her crying helped the situation out basically.
I would say in the movie, there's definitely a lot more things going on with that situation that could have been utilized for her benefit or her character's benefit overall, and they're not. I would have to say the show has certain characters that it uses when it's going for, comedic relief, and I feel like it kind of steps off of that direction weirdly when it tries to, shift to things that are a bit more serious. I would say overall, maybe that's my one larger criticism of Demon Slayer as a whole, is that I really enjoy the story, but its shifting isn't very organic, and it's probably because the characters that it utilizes for, comedic effect aren't very, what's the word, adaptable, aren't utilized very well outside of those situations where they're trying to make a joke. And I mean, like, with, I guess the main thing to say is in comparison with Zenitsu, the situation is that every time he falls asleep or gets knocked out because of his panicking, which is utilized for a joke a lot of the time, he becomes super powerful. So it's a bit strange in comparison to the fact that Nezuko is very powerful but not utilized, but more often used for jokes.
So do we want to talk about any spoilers? Do we want to do a spoiler section?
I was gonna ask that.
Let's not do a spoiler section until you watch it.
Okay.
And then
well,
in that episode, we'll just do a spoiler section.
Then for the editing, when we mention spoilers, I'll put a note that just says there is no spoiler section later. We decided not to.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So do we want to wrap up? Somebody want to say some closing thoughts about the Demon Slayer? The slaying of the demons? The demon slay?
Michael Jackson.
That is...
Actually, just
Eddie
look
thoughts.
up the main antagonist of Demon Slayer. He just looks exactly like Michael Jackson. He's wearing, like, the characteristic, like, what is it? It's not the Thriller costume.
hat?
It's the, Man in the Mirror. It's like that white thread suit that he's seen a lot in, like,
Okay.
album
We'll
covers.
put a picture on the
Yeah.
screen.
He's, like, wearing the exact same outfit. The main antagonist is wearing the exact same outfit.
But yeah, I'll have to definitely watch Demon Slayer.
You will.
All right.